Hello, and welcome to the Cabinet Learning Series. In this video, we're going to be talking about web forms. Specifically, we're going to be talking about why you would use web forms, what form package should you use, and we'll be talking about what form packages are here shortly. And we're going to talk about how to create the forms and the whole web forms process that we're going to go over here. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is why use web forms and really why we did this, why we created this process for you guys. We worked with a lot of customers, maybe some of you guys, that needed web forms as a part of their business process. They need a non-safe user or anybody to be able to fill out a web form and then have that data be used to create a folder or populate and create a document inside of Safe. And before, we've never really had a straightforward answer. We never really had an easy solution for that. So that's what this is for. Was we went out and we didn't write any new software. This isn't a product we're selling, but we went out and found a lot of the moving parts to make this happen and make it a lot easier for you guys to implement. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring up my web browser here. And I have open right now is just a very simple web page that I made. And on the page, you can see I have 3 different forms. There were just links to the forms, but I have a lead generation form, I have an application for employment form, and an expense reimbursement form. So what this allows me to do is I can go to the site, and this could be any site. This could be your main website. You could have a lead generation form on there or an application form, things like that. But all I have to do is click on the form here, and there you go. It takes me right away to my web form. And now you can see right in the middle here, I have my fields I can fill out. So I'm going to start here at the top and just simply type in the information into the first field and use my tab key to go through the rest. So I can enter in my information. Help if I could type. Alright, so I'm just going to go through just like a normal web form, just like I'm sure you're used to doing anytime you've filled out a form on a web page before. Let's see here. We'll do Microsoft. It's our company here. So our department is sales. And the nice thing about these web forms too, depending on the form package you use, and again, we'll go into that in a minute here, and it'll all start to kind of make sense. But you can have things built into the form, some validations and data masks. And for instance, here for phone, if I were to type in just 4 characters, which is not enough for a phone number, and I go to the next field, right away I get an error. It throws up a flag, it turns red, telling me that something's wrong. But as soon as I enter the correct amount of digits for a phone number, we're all set. So it allows you to do a lot of things, again, in regards to validations and data masks, making sure the data you're getting is in the format that you want and what you need. And you also have the ability, I can have some radio buttons. So this is saying, when would you like to begin using our service? We'll say next month. And you can have checkboxes, so I can choose what product I'm interested in. We'll say Safe Cloud and Cabinet AP. But once I'm done filling out the form, whatever type of form it might be, all I have to do at the very end is come down to the Submit Form button. And I'll click Submit Form, and there we go. So right away it says, thank you, the form was submitted successfully. And now that part of the process is done. We can move on from here. So what I'm going to do now is come here into Safe, and I'm going to log in. All right, and we're going to go ahead and come to the accounting office repository to our customers cabinet. And let's see if it's in here yet. So we made it sorted by company, so we're going to want to look for Microsoft. That's what I made our company. Okay, so it's not in here yet. So let's give it another second. It usually takes a minute or two, a couple minutes depending on how often you have it set to run. All right, so let's see here. Let me refresh it by just hitting this find key and see what we got. Yep, and there we are. So we have Microsoft now. And so right away you can see the information that I filled out in the web form was used to populate all this folder index information. We have my email, my phone number, address, name, everything like that. And when I go inside the folder, we have a new document. We have a PDF form called a lead generation form, so just the same form that I filled out on the web. and it's created a PDF form with all that information as well. So now this form could be taken and routed to the appropriate salesperson. If it was an application for an employment, it could be sent to the HR department automatically. So we can automatically send it through a workflow as well. So coming back to our PowerPoint here on our first bullet, we have why use web forms. So just right away from what I've shown you there, some of the things that we can already see is there's no duplicate entry. So you don't have to send somebody a form to fill out. They fill it out, send it back to you, and then you don't have to look at that form and type in all that information into SAFE. So you don't have to do that. They fill it out once, and it's populated in SAFE with all that information. Accessibility is a big one. It's on a web page. It's a web form, so you can access it from anywhere with internet. And they don't have to be SAFE users. So you can have the benefit of having non-SAFE users, so your clients, instead of having to buy them SAFE licenses, you can simply have them go fill out your web form, and you're good to go. And those are just a couple reasons. Security, it's a lot more secure than having to send forms through email, things like that. But it's a great, a lot of benefits here. All right, so coming to our next bullet, we have what form package should I use? Now, I've mentioned that quite a few times at this point. I haven't really explained what it is, but a form package is basically a third-party company, and I have some of them here, that helps you build a web form. And a lot of them help you do it without having to have any programming knowledge. And so go out there and look. There's dozens out there, and they're all different, and they're all priced differently, and they have different features. So basically what you'll end up doing is picking whichever one works best for what you're trying to do. We chose FormStack, which is the icon here in the middle, and the reason I chose FormStack was because it had a lot of features it had were used for business. So they had credit card plugins and PayPal plugins that you could use for web forms. You have calculating fields. So if you're using an order form, you can have a quantity and a price multiply to equal a total. You can have required fields. If you have a long form that's multiple pages, the user filling out the form can save what they've done and come back to it later. I thought that was really cool. So really just go through and look at the features of them and see which one works best for what you're trying to accomplish. And to help you guys narrow down, instead of just having to go through the vast universe of Google, we actually have a list of a bunch of different form packages that we've looked at. So reach out to us, and we can help you out. We can walk through the different packages and talk about which one works best for what you're trying to do. All right. And then I want to come down here, and I have a kind of an overview of everything that the form just went through in that demo. So I want to go to this overview, and then we'll actually go look at these different moving parts. So the first step in the web form process is the form is filled out and submitted from the website. So as you might remember, we filled out the web form on the website and just hit submit as your customer, as the non-SAFE user. And then as soon as they hit submit, all of that form data is sent to FormStack. And again, that's the form package that I used. And then from there, there's another tool called Zapier. Now what Zapier does is it connects to all of these, not all of them, but a lot of these different form packages. And it can monitor those form packages. So Zapier monitors FormStack. And anytime it sees a new submission, it takes that data from FormStack and sends it to wherever I tell it to. And in this case, I'm having it sent to a SQL database, which is the same kind of database that SAFE uses. So we're putting it into a database so that all the data goes from the web form into that database. And then once it's there, we're using our program, PDF Forms Monitor, which you guys may or may not have worked with at this point. But PDF Forms Monitor is looking at that table, and every time it sees a new row, a new submission, a new entry, then a form is created and filed into SAFE. It uses the data from the table to know which folder to file it into based on the PDF Form Monitor setup, and it knows what tab to go into, how to name it, and everything like that. So coming to this first part here, where we're talking about the form was filled out and submitted from the website and it was sent to FormStack. I want to talk a little bit about how we create the web form. So this is specific to FormStack, so I'm here in FormStack, so this will be very different if you're using a different form package, but a lot of them are similar, so it's not going to hurt anything. So on the right hand side here we have our form, so you can see we have our first name field, last name field, and so on. And then on the left hand side we have all our different fields that we can add and all our features we can add to the form. So you can see we have a short answer field, checkbox, drop down list, file upload, a credit card, a lot of different things. CAPTCHA, which is extra security on the form, things like that. And all you have to do to build the form is pick which field you want to do and drag and drop it on top of the form. You can see I can kind of drag it around and where I want it. Drop it here. Maybe we'll make this one a supervisor. So you can see we've added our short answer field here. And if I click on that field, the left-hand side here has changed, and it's given me some options for this particular field. So now I can give it a different label. Instead of short answer, we'll say supervisor. And then you have some field options. We can make it required. You can make it read-only, hidden. You can have supporting text. A lot of things like that. And you can have what's called conditional logic. And that's another reason I went with FormStack. It's one of the features they have that I find really useful, and I'm going to show you what that is here. I'm going to go to a different form though. I'm going to go to this application form, and basically what conditional logic lets you do is you can have certain fields do something based off of information in another field. So for instance, here we have our application for employment, and you can see it's very similar to a standard application that I'm sure you filled out in the past before. But what conditional logic allows you to do is we have this field here that says, have you been convicted of a crime in the last 7 years? If I say no, nothing happens. It just fills in that no bubble. But if I hit yes, there's logic built in to where it adds this if yes, please explain field. So it adds a field, but it only shows it if it's relevant. So I guess that's a good way to put it. Conditional logic allows you to show fields if they're relevant, basically, based on filling out information. So pretty straightforward. Makes it really easy to build these forms. Again, if I come back here to build, we have all our different form fields, and then you just drag and drop them on top in the position that you want on your form. The next piece of the puzzle is going to be building that PDF form. So if you remember here in SAFE, PDF Forms Monitor not only files it into the correct folder or creates a folder if one doesn't already exist, but it also creates a PDF form with all this information. So you'll need a PDF form template set up in SAFE for it to populate that data onto. So I've got my PDF form here. It's very basic. I've got my different form fields, but the important thing here is when you're making your PDF form, you want to make sure that it has all the exact same fields that your web form does. So that when you're mapping them together and telling the web form data where to go on the PDF form, you have all of the fields to map up. Creating a PDF form, we're not going to get into that a whole lot, but just to kind of give you an idea, in Adobe Acrobat anyways, if you click on Edit PDF, it gives you the ability to add text and images, things like that. And then if I go back out of Edit and go to Prepare Form, now we can work on the form field. So I can add text field, checkbox, radio button, drop-down list, and so on and so forth. So you can make your PDF form from there. But again, the most important part is making sure you have all the same fields in your PDF form that you have on your web form, so that those can get mapped up. Okay? All right. So let's see. Come down to the last part here, kind of to reiterate why we use web forms. Saves you time. You don't have to do any duplicate entry. You don't have to worry about sending that form to somebody, having them send it back to you, then you take the data, fill it, and save, all that nonsense. You can simply have your customer fill out the form from your site or from any website that you have, and that data will be automatically sent through and populated into SAFE. We talked about what form package you should use. And again, there are tons of different form packages to choose from. Please, feel free to reach out to us. Again, we have that list of all of the different form packages that we have looked at, so we can help narrow down that list for you. And also talked a little bit about how to create the forms, the web form and the PDF form specifically, and then talked about how the whole process works. If you guys would like any more information, I know we've thrown a lot at you, and there's a lot to this. There's some good moving parts, so feel free to reach out. Contact your cabinet reseller, or shoot us an email at info@cabinetpaperless.com, or give us a call at 800-621-6501. Thank you for watching the video, and have a great day.